Welcome down the rabbit hole. This is where we're talking sports, health, fitness, biohacking, longevity, and a whole lot more. I'm your host, John Fitzgerald. Let's get to the action.
I do want to talk a little bit more about the right angle. Can I do that?
Yeah, it's our time. We can do whatever we want.
Okay, so the right angle launched in I think 1992, and we had a 18-month contract with Dave Ledbetter and Nick Price. Nick Price basically did it for free. He got a quarter unit. He's just Ledbetter's good buddy. He
Yeah.
said, "Okay, I'll do it," but in order for him to do it legally, he had to he had received something, so he took a freaking quarter, right? Best golfer in the world. It's like Tiger Woods a quarter today to do something for you, right? No, Tiger Woods would want like a $25 million check up front.
Yeah, give me a check. Yeah, give me a check and a steak.
Right. And a steak, right? So anyways, the contract was expiring. It's 18 months later. And the deal was falling apart because everybody got greedy. As little money as I was making, Dave Ledbetter, the endorser, he wanted to make more. He only made $1.3 million. You know, the poor guy. You know, he has 40 minutes into it, maybe 40 minutes, and he makes $1.3 million. My brother and I made 150 grand each. The marketing company, I think they made like $500,000, but Ledbetter thought he needed more. So he said, "You're going to have to take a reduction, Mike, in what you make." And so is Quarter Enterprises, the marketing company, is going to have to take less. This one guy did, yeah. So, I budged, I anteed up a little bit, like I didn't have much to ante up. It was my freaking product. Nobody would be making anything if it weren't for me. So, shame on me for, doing a deal that wasn't good and even being willing to take less. But we were making a check every week. Another check came in the mail.
Yeah, for
I
nothing.
mean, I was collecting checks for a living. How about that? What do you do for a living, Mike? I collect checks.
I wake up.
I wake up, I go to the mailbox,
Yeah,
I hope there's a check there, and I go all the way to the bank and I cash it. That's I was working. Yeah, I was an engineer, so I was all working. Yeah, I wasn't gonna stop working, because who knows how long this gig would last, right?
right.
And it's my first time.
Yeah,
So yeah, it was just a huge learning process. But anyways, yeah, so we ended up not being able to cut a deal with him. So he just made his own. He didn't give a crap about. I had a patent on it, or two patents on it. He didn't give a shit. He knew I couldn't defend it. He knew what I didn't know, that it would take $1 million in order to defend it, and he was pretty sure I did not have it, and he was right. He called the bluff. He sold his own. He called it the same damn thing, a right angle or the right length. I think he called it the right length to differentiate a little bit. So yeah, that was a huge lessons learned. So he basically just told me how useless patents are. They're very good if you have the resources to defend them. Most people like me do not.
yeah. I have 6 patents on that one thing.
And what do you
I have no options. Yeah, I never really even thought about it until you told me that during a session. You're like, don't waste your time. Don't waste your money.
Don't waste your money on patents. And certainly don't waste them on international patents. That is a total waste of money. My God, you got to pay for the translations. If you're going to do one in the EU, you got to have it translated into France and Spanish and Denmark. Who the hell? Italian. Oh, it just costs a fortune and it does nothing. And you certainly don't do it in China or Japan, or especially China. Well, yeah, yeah, I know. They basically dare you to show up in their courts. You know, come on over. Waste your money. You're going to lose. So, well, two of them had were right angle ones, an upgrade to a design patent, not a utility patent. And then the other patent was for sit-up apparatus. Started to tell the story about being on the home shopping channel.
Yeah.
When it was selling 500 a minute. Yes, sir.
Holy smoke.
500 a minute. We were raking in the dough. Yeah, for like a month. And then some hotshot big company called Icon decides, I'm going to make that. That's a good product. So they made the identical twin.
Change color.
Might have changed the color, I don't know. But basically, you could look at them and go, oh, okay, where's it? To a fault. We made it different to a fault. We had a little blemish on one piece of the tubing. They had a blemish, same place. So they built it to the fault.
You would think that like having a patent would stop.
No, it didn't matter because so I called their attorney. This is before the internet. I sent their attorney a cease and desist from my attorney, right? And so I arranged for a phone call with them. They have attorneys on retainers just waiting to work.
Yeah.
They're getting
Twiddling
paid.
their thumbs, waiting
Twiddling
for
their
you,
thumb-
waiting for you to call.
Waiting for me to call. They couldn't wait till I called, so I called this guy. And so it was unbelievable. I thought maybe I'll bond with this guy a little bit, right? Trying to make him friendly with me. So I'm like, oh, Utah, you're out in Utah? Yep. Do any skiing? Oh yeah, he says we ski all the time. Me and my family, and we started talking about skiing and maybe do you golf? Kind of bonding with him a little bit, and then build a little rapport, right? I thought that might help. No, I said, I said, so after we got through bantering a little bit, right? I said, hey, let's talk about the topic that I called about, okay? And I said, so if you don't mind, I know I mailed you a copy of the patent. So could you please, is it in your hand right now? He said, yes. Can you please do me a favor? Can you open it up? And I'm going to read claim number 1. And I want you to tell me where your patent does not infringe on that claim.
So you're putting him on the spot.
Putting him on the spot. And he said, I read it out loud. He listened to me read it out loud. And he said, all I can tell you, Mike, is the leadership, is it working? Yeah. He said, all I can tell you is the executive team have decided that they are not an infringement of your patent. And I said, well, I don't understand. What do you think? He says, I'm not here to render an opinion. I work for Icon. Yeah. Icon's management team has said they're taking a position that they did not infringe on your patent. I said, isn't it weird that they look alike? And he said, again,
all a little bit.
Again, I know, right? Couldn't there be something different about it? And so, he said again, that's all he could say. That's all he could say. He probably had a script in front of him, And I said, well, let's move on to number 3. So I read claim number 3. Can you tell me where, that's pretty specific about what our products do. Can you tell me where right, where you're not in infringement on that claim? Mike, all I'm at liberty to say is that the leadership team has taken, and I said, okay, I get it. I see where this is going.
Yeah, the third run around of the
yeah, and so he was sympathetic enough. He listened. He listened, and he did say, he said, Mike, I probably shouldn't even say this, but he says, to be honest with you, I feel sorry for people like you. Not me specifically, but for people like me, because there's a small player who can get squished out of it at a large company's whim,
Just because they want.
And there's nothing you can do about it. They know you're not rich, So that was it. That was it for that product. It's 500 a minute to 0 a minute in 2 weeks. Yeah, that's a hit.
That's a lot.
So that's when I'm like, okay, that's it for me on patents. I'm not doing patents anymore, Or if I do a patent, I'll do it myself free of charge.
Yeah.
And then pay a $50 patent fee for it. I'm not going to pay $4,000 for a patent anymore, $5,000 or whatever. So
Especially
yeah,
if it's
then
not helping. If it doesn't help.
it doesn't help. It's zero. It's a zero. It might keep the good guys honest, but there's enough bad guys out there that they outnumber the good guys, right?
Yeah, it's like a lock on your door.
I know.
It's like it'll keep
Someone's
the good
getting
guys
in,
out, but
right?
bad guys that get
They're
in,
getting in
they're
somehow.
getting in.
So yeah, it was pretty crazy. So then do you want to talk about more patent stuff?
Yeah. What was the next one?
The next one was a pressure sensitive golf grip. It was pretty cool. So so what we would do is and we had golf grips on the team, right? They were making parts for us. So we took their formulation. So we went down there to Fayetteville, North Carolina.
That's where they're headquartered.
R&D lab, and we can't remember the guy's name, but he was the head of R&D, and they had like prototype tools that they could experiment with. So we had our little formulation that made a golf grip conductive. So when you squeezed on it, and then it had a little cap on the end with a speaker on it. Puts a little cap on the end of your golf club. Just snap it in there, and it would squawk. When you squeeze too hard, it would squawk at you. So when you death grip a club, you go beep 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 beep, oh beep beep, no, right, and then you dial in. Okay, now it's not squawking at me anymore. I have a good pressure on my golf.
So it's almost like a guitar tuner for your grip, right? Like that's
Yeah.
too much. That's too
Yeah,
little.
yep, there it is. And so as you swung, some people get to the top and grip it out, beep, 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 right?
Yeah.
So it was really cool. But the problem is we never got it working perfectly. We can get it working usually, not all the time. Then we, reformulate the chemistry, but we never, the bottom line is we never nailed it. And so you can't put something out on the market that you advertise as it'll usually work, it kind of works, but yeah. So and that was a thought that I got from Jack Nicklaus, because he was always talked about how important the grip pressure was, So that was just a dead deal, right? It was pretty cool going.
It sounds like something that you should probably retry now with technology being.
Oh my God. 25 years later or 30 years later.
I bet you could knock that out in 4 hours now.
No, right? It's not a bad idea. And I've actually thought about it. Doing something like that. So then, then my new product now, the Precision Impact, that came into play. So that was my fifth and patent attempt, I should say. So I did the patent myself. I was done spending money on patents.
I didn't even know you could do it yourself until you told me. I had no idea.
Look it up on Google.
It seems like, and this is funny because you're how old?
I was 70.
And you're teaching me how to look stuff up on the internet. I feel stupid. I had no idea that. Yeah, I thought it was almost like having a tax attorney or tax accountant. Like you can do your own taxes, but it's probably going to suck.
Yeah, it's hard doing a patent, but I had patents before I could model off of. I knew what order things went in. I'm an engineer, so I can kind of figure out the engineering words. Yeah. So anyways, I submitted a patent for this product, and the examiner rejected it. So I had a call with the examiner. I said, "Well, why did you reject this?" And he said, "Because your claim, number one, which is the most broad one, right? He says your claim is infringing on another patent that does kind of the same thing, And I said, "Really? What did that other patent do? What patent number is it?" So we gave it to him. I looked at it. I said, "Okay, I can see the similarities, but I'm reading this patent and it says it uses a ratchet mechanism." He says, well, yours is a ratchet mechanism. I said, no, it's not. Are you an engineer? He said, yes, I am. I said, well, then you know what a ratchet is. Mine is not a ratchet, right?
Yeah.
He said, but it acts like a ratchet. So it's not a better mousetrap because I only have two parts. And a ratchet takes a third pulp, POWL pulp. Yeah. You know, you look at any ratchet, right? You buy it, yeah, click, click, click. I don't have one of those. So he still was defiant. I said, okay, hang on a second. I went and got the engineering manual. I said, I'm opening the engineering manual to what a ratchet is by definition.
The guy probably thought you were a pain in the
That's
ass.
on page number 100. I said, do you have an engineering manual? Can you open it up and read it with me? Or can I read it to you? And he said, I don't have one at my desk. What does it say? So I read it to him and I said, so where is mine? The way it
The way it's
performs, the
described,
way the
yeah.
mechanism works. Where is it in that description of a ratchet that I just read to you? Where's the continuity there? Well, you know, it's yeah, some bullshit, and I'm like, okay, dude, you know. So I dressed it up a little bit, sent it in again, hoping to get a different examiner.
Did
No,
you?
I got the same
Same
examiner.
asshole.
Funny thing is, so it got rejected. And the funny thing is, the director of the patent office bought one of my products. In Washington, the main guy, that Trump would appoint, that guy, the king of the world in patents, king of the U.S. in patents, bought a product, and he called me and he says, "Do you have a patent on that?" And I said, "No." I tried getting one through, and you know, I wrote one up, and you know, the examiner rejected it, and I gave him the story, right? And he said, "Well, you probably got a young examiner, you know, like a fresh engineer out of engineering school, and he is probably being told, you know, to really scrutinize these things and don't let them through." He said, "If you would have got a more seasoned examiner, you would have got a patent."
Can
And
you ask that? Can you like when you get pulled over from a cop, like you can say, "I only want to speak to your supervisor."
I know,
Could you have done that with your patent guy? Like, hey, let me talk to someone who knows what the
I
hell's
did.
going on.
I asked for the supervisor. Her name was Elena. And so I talked to Elena, and all she did is kept referring back to him. You know, he's our examiner, supervise his work. I check his work, but it's his call. And his call was that, you know, this patent is, that your patent application is not acceptable. And it's so funny that their boss, way at the top said that would have been
Yeah, take the
a
bureaucratic system out of
that
it.
would, yeah, take the
Yeah.
bureaucratic crap out of it, and you would have a fresh patent. I'm like, you know, my luck.
It's too
But
much work to
but
do.
then after that, I didn't care. I don't
So you
care
just
about
went to market without
I
it.
tried to market without it. You know, if I'm infringing on someone's patent, they'll let me know, and they'll make me pay them.
Have you heard anything?
No, it's been 5 years.
So obviously,
Right? They know.
obviously,
They know. They know.
I haven't. I actually looked before you came today. I haven't seen a copycat yet
Of your idea?
of your idea
Oh, okay.
of the impact.
Yeah, yeah.
I have not seen anybody do that. And I brought this up, I think the second time I talked to you in our gym.
Hmm.
I think that that is brilliant, having gone to school as an educator, to have all three types of learners, and same with the pressure grip.
Yeah.
All three types of learners can learn from that.
Mhm.
Right? The people that learn from audio,
Mhm.
super cool. The people that are kinetic feelers,
Feel right.
right? And then obviously you can see what it should
Yeah.
look like at impact.
Yeah.
If you can't see, well, then you're probably blind and
Right.
you should rely on the audio. So
I know, right?
do you have that in mind when you designed it? Or
Yes.
did it click because it has to?
No, the right angle click too, at the elbow, you know, so that was kind of, you know, I thought, well, you know, that was a good thing to do because you should only start folding your arm when you're probably at 9 o'clock on at the clock. The clock looks right at 9 o'clock. You take the club head wide, and for a driver, anyways, and then you start folding your arm Right. And then on the way down, you don't let this go. So you don't even hear the clicks until you're at hip height or something, you know? Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm like, okay, that was a good thing. Right. So let's put it on this product too, you know, because it's important for people to, some people use it the first time, no clicks. No clicks. Push your wrist back. Okay. Pop, 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 pop. Oh, I can do that. I'll be damned. You know, it is like you've never loaded the club in your whole life. Nope.
Just like when we're doing breathing exercise and people are like, have I been breathing wrong forever? Kind of, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're still golfing or you're still breathing fine enough, but
Yeah.
there's a better way. There's a direct.
Yeah. So, yeah, this product, I'll tell you a quick story. So I was a good athlete, right? I was good at football, good at basketball, good at baseball, good at hockey, not good at golf.
Is that why all of the inventions are golf related?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Makes sense. It was
yeah,
out of your own necessity.
exactly, right?
Got it.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, I mean, my ball will go anywhere. It might not even get off the ground. You know, I mean, sometimes it's just straight into the water. The water's 10 feet away. And so I had to I went and got a lesson from a friend of mine, Jim, his name was. And he showed me how horribly my flipping was. Oh my God, over the top and flipping. I can't even tell you how humbling.
Yeah, when
that
you see
was.
your swing on video for the first time, you're like,
And
that's not
then,
what I look like, is it?
yeah, and then he superimposed my swing over Nick Falvo's, who had the perfect swing. And unbelievable. During the backswing, not so bad. Not so bad. During the downswing, horrible. So I was making contact with the ball at the same rotation, body rotation, as his club was still pointed back straight up in the air. So I'm somewhere between 90 and 110 degrees
Yeah, you're
off
all hands.
where I'm all
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah.
So that's how this product was born, you know. So and I used
Wish
it.
I would have found it a year and a half ago when I
I
started
know,
swinging on purpose.
I know, right? Right. And so I used it. You know, I had no illusions that it would cure my ills, my golf ills in one session or one basket of balls. I knew it was going to take some work. So I put the work in at a golf dome in Burton. What's it called? Not Polar Palace, the other one. Ice Mountain, Ice
Yeah.
Mountain, Ice Mountain. So had a golf dome there. So in one winter over golf dome, no lessons, just feeling how this product was making me hit differently. And it was way, oh my God. I'm like, I thought that, the first ball I hit with it, I thought I swung and missed. And I look up, I didn't feel it. And I looked up and I'm like, oh my God, it's like coming out of
I peered it.
I peered it. I said, that's got to be luck. That has to be coincidence. I did it again, same thing. I felt like I swung and missed, and it just took off like a rocket. That's when I knew I was onto something, right? Yeah, I'm onto something. So I for the whatever number of months, 3 months here, right, of winter, I went to the dome almost every day.
Yeah, I think everyone needs to do that. I think we were just talking about this.
Yeah,
Everyone that goes golfing casually,
right.
if they just took that same $60 and spent $10 a day at the range,
I know, right?
your game wouldn't suck.
It would not suck, especially
It might still suck if you're really bad and you're
right.
practicing bad.
Bad habits, right? So that was the thing with this product. I couldn't practice bad habits. And so I was practicing good habits.
Yeah.
I was at 25 going into that year when I ended, eight the following year. My distances were crazy. I could
That's insane.
280 on demand, 280-yard drives on demand. Sometimes I
How old were you when you
50 maybe, something like that, you know.
280 at 50 years old? That's a bomb in the ball.
Yeah, and 300 if I cranked it up good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. The stories I could tell
Those are
are off the
rockets,
charts.
man.
Are off the charts. I overshot, especially at the beginning of the year, right? I don't know my 7-iron goes 200 yards. I thought it went 160.
Right. Yeah. It didn't before.
Yeah, now it does.
Yeah.
I was just way, you know. I mean, it was crazy, and it took me a while to finally believe that that's going to be consistent.
Yeah.
I'm going to always hit a 7-iron that part. I'm always going to hit a 9-iron,
Right.
160.
See, I don't trust it anymore.
160. I'm always going to hit it. You know, I was like, oh my God. You know, so once I adjusted to all that, then my scores are, you know, in the 70s and low 80s. It was unbelievable. Just on. By the way, all the guys I played golf with, they're broke because I took the skins every week. Yeah, it was unreal. Let me tell you one. Well, I could tell you hundreds of stories.
That's why we're here, man.
Let me tell you one that was really cool. So I had this tournament. It was called the Manley Man Open. My name is Manley. I want to invite people at the Manley Man Invitational. And I had like 24, maybe 28 guys. And they had a lot of them had low handicaps, single digit handicaps. Others had mid-teens handicaps. You know, I was an 8, and we had a skins. We had the closest to the pin and long drive on all the par fours and par 5s and par 3s. And I won all of them. I felt terrible.
I wouldn't. That's why we play the game, man.
And I'm in the last group, so they're not going to believe me.
Yeah, like this guy came through and just scratched the board.
Right. I know, right?
Of his own invitation.
Right, in his own. I know. I knew it looked bad. So we got on 17. There was a par 3. My brother was my partner, 2 teams. We used like 90% of my shots, and he was a good player. And so we got to 17, and it's a par 3, 140 yards or whatever, you know. I told my brother, I'm not going to win this all. You know, I'm aiming for the sand trap. I'm just going to see if I can get up and down from the trap. Hit like a dart into the trap right where I aimed. Hit it, got up and down for par. It was like, I was a freaking ball striking machine.
Wherever you want it, right?
A ball striking machine. It was amazing. Yeah. So yeah, it was, but it was work.
Yeah.
You know, the feeling was way different. So I knew it was going to be a lot of work, right? I mean, but it worked out. Yeah. And being a golfer at an 8 handicap, I can assure you, is way more fun. It was enough fun being a 25.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how much fun
we've
made
talked about this. I don't know how people have fun at that level.
I know, right?
Like if I picked up golf and I was still shooting 90 or 100, I'd quit.
Sometimes I wouldn't break 100.
I'd quit.
I shot 114 once.
I mean, I'm sure I have.
Yeah, it was crazy.
When I started scoring, I was like, oh, I think the first time I ever scored, it was like a 92.
Like, that's pretty good.
That's not good, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good to me.
Good. I don't like.
Were you a good athlete?
I was like, what do the pros shoot? Oh, shoot.
Oh, yeah.
And then I stopped golfing and I just started ranging.
Yeah.
And then I would go to Copper Ridge in Davison, and I would spend 3-4 hours on their putting green.
Yeah.
Chipping around.
It's all about putting and chipping. Oh my God.
And then I wouldn't even go golfing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was my golf.
Yeah.
And then I had a whole winter in here doing the same thing you were doing.
Yeah.
Instead of hitting long irons, there's just wedges.
Popping them, yeah.
Just like we do, like 10, 20 feet.
Yeah.
And
it's amazing.
In my landing.
It's amazing. That is the way you get the feel.
Yeah.
Those little shots. And then you just work up and you have that same feeling of letting gravity swing the club instead of you jerking it around, you know. So yeah, once you get to that level, it's lights out.
Yeah, it is more fun not being bad at the game.
Yeah.
It is more fun.
Yeah, for sure. This gosh, what was I gonna say? Oh crap. Yeah, I mean, there's so many stories I could tell. Like you said, if you had to shoot 100, it's not worth it, right?
Yeah.
But I was able to go back to my 25 handicap days. You get into the 19th hole, you're talking with the boys, you're divvying up the skins, and I'm telling them about the 3 shots that I can remember that were really nice. That kept me coming back. Fast forward, I'm an 8 handicap. I can tell you about the 3 shots I wish I had back. The other ones were either good or really good. The 3 that I wanted back could have got me a scratch, a 72 or a 71, you know? Yeah, that's a whole, I mean, wow, what a difference.
It turns out as I get better at the game and I understand what I'm doing more, I actually get more frustrated. It's the craziest thing because I have expectations
I know,
now.
right? Yeah, you're right. They're up
Like
here now.
I've hit 100 warm-up shots. They were, we'll say 80% of them were great.
Yeah.
Well, why the hell did I just fat that one?
You're right.
What am I doing? And then this year the goal is to never ever think about what just happened, which I think in golf is probably the hardest thing. Once you
It
fat one,
is.
you're like
Oh my
well,
God.
you're like getting rid of that right away before I
Yeah.
walk my 5 feet up to actually hit my
I know,
shot.
right? You gotta let that
Yeah,
crap go.
yeah.
It'll
It's
kill you.
the most maddening sport in the world because the only person that can mess you up is you. It's not even like running.
I know.
It's not. It's not exhausting.
I know.
It's not like that.
You know, why is the ball so hard to hit? It's not moving.
It doesn't move.
It's right there.
Right in front of you. It's also white. It almost glows.
I know.
Like green, like the contrast. There's no reason to miss hit the ball.
I know. I know. You know what I tell people when they call me? My customers. I will tell them your body is made. God made your body beautifully to hit a golf.
Yeah.
The problem is we manipulate the club with our little muscles in our hands and we jerk the club down and we do all of the things that screw up our perfect body swing. If everybody just understand that, you go back and you just let you rotate and you don't have to work it. You don't even have to have muscles in your hands at that point.
Yeah.
They can be severed completely. It's right? Not zero muscles. If you had zero muscles in your hands on the downswing and you rotate it good, you hit the ball perfect every time.
So this is what messes everybody up.
This flipping is awful. I mean, yeah. I've heard from hundreds of golfers. I know PGA players, tour players, coaches that coach tour players,
yeah.
real golfers that work with guys like the amateur golfers, you know, weekend golfers. 99 is the common percent that they say flip. 99. Pretty much everybody. So
There's one cat out there now.
I know there's one. I know it's like, okay, dude, you just bought one. You probably need it. You know, you have a 99% chance of needing it. You know, so
That's pretty high.
it is. That's pretty darn
So
high.
pretty much everybody needs this for Christmas, is what you're
Pretty
saying.
much. It's pretty crazy, but
Yeah, that the fact that many people have the same issue,
yeah,
like, and no one can fix this.
right.
Like no one's
You look.
given the damn solution yet.
I'm telling you. Well, Greg Norman tried. Greg Norman. They had this thing called Secret. Greg Norman's Secret. Did you see that? It was a piece of plastic shaped like a shoehorn that clamped onto your wrist, and it held you back, but it didn't let you release. It's always pulling on you, and it would hurt my tendons and my muscles in my wrist because it was always tugging at me on that address and pulling me back, you know. So, you know, it's not like it was ever recognized, but that didn't work, you know. And you need to, right? You need to be relaxed at address. My God, you can't be having something yanking your.
Right.
So yeah,
that won't work.
yeah, but 90, yeah, it's true. It's 99%. If you randomly take your iPhone out to a driving range and tape people and then look at it frame by frame on your iPhone, you will see all of them flip. All of them, the club head is way in front of their hands when they hit the ball, which is the opposite of how it should be. Yeah.
Which is why everyone slices,
Yes.
right?
Yes, they come over the top this way. They flip. The
Ball spins off.
is on this angle. They hit it. Ball spins off like that.
Yeah.
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 If they would just forget about their hands, keep the damn things quiet.
Yeah. I think that this is, again, just me thinking.
Yeah.
As a movement coach, I think people think too much. There's so many ways that golf can go wrong for you, and there's a million people like me that actually golf, and they're giving you golf instruction, biomechanics.
Yeah.
This isn't how your body should move, whether you're holding a bat, a club, throwing a ball.
Sorry.
These people are saying, release the hands. When you should release the hands.
Your hands release themselves.
Yeah, it's the worst cue ever.
It's horrible.
I hate that.
I know,
I
right?
hate it. And
Right.
also, what do you mean, coach? Every time I'm
Like,
on YouTube, someone says release the hands for the first year and a half.
when?
I don't even know what
Where?
you mean, release them. What do you mean?
I know.
Oh, when I do this? Oh, why don't you just say that?
Yeah. Well, you
Yeah.
never do this.
Yeah.
Johnny Miller once said, this is years back. Johnny, yeah, right. Johnny Miller said, when you hit the ball, your left wrist is bowed and your right wrist is bent. Right, they go together. He said, the ball's gone.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what difference does it make? He said, you never have to release them. You never have ever. The ball's gone. Who cares what you do afterwards? So, and there's golfers who did that, who never ever release, and your ball went as straight as an arrow. You know,
See that
so
when because I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I saw somebody hit a stinger, and I thought it was awesome.
yeah, like
That's how I taught myself. It's just I kept my wrist
those little
broken the whole
stingers. Yeah,
time
oh
and
my
just
God,
didn't follow through all the way.
right? That squares the
Yeah.
club up
I was
so
like, wow.
beautifully that it just squares the club up. So when I tell people, and it's in our instruction material in the box when they arrive at the customer's mailbox, right? Our message to them is, if you use this long enough, you'll realize I don't need it.
Yeah, you're training your brain.
You're training your brain. I don't need it. Throw it away.
Yeah.
John, I would go maybe once every other week to the range to see if I needed it. I never needed it again. Once I got it, I never needed it again.
It is a marketing problem for you,
Yeah, that's a mark.
right? I face the same thing when I'm fixing people and they're like, I actually don't need you anymore. I'm like, I know. I know.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, and that, I mean, that's how we met, right?
yeah,
I reached out to you on Instagram because
yeah,
I was like, hey, I like what you do.
yeah,
And I don't know if it was you or your daughter that was like, I need this. I need you actually.
yeah.
Funny, you should reach out.
I know.
So and this is, I've been begging to ask this question recorded. So you invented all these things to help your golf game. And then
I don't play golf.
why didn't you play golf?
I had a back injury. And well, my back, yeah, I mean, I remember skating. Playing hockey at 14 years old. My back would get fatigued.
Yeah.
On that lower area that we're fixing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to go off the ice before my shift was even done. 14.
Yeah, it's too young to have back pain.
Okay, yeah. So that was just a nemesis for me for years and years and years. Some experts think, some orthopods think that is because orthopods like they're real smart, eh? They think they're experts. Anyways, I fell off a garage when I was 4 years old onto concrete, and they said that might have been the catalyst, right?
Yeah.
It bent the bones, and it took you
Maybe
14
compress the
years
disc
to
or whatever,
compress the
yeah.
disc, and over your lifetime, it just kept getting worse. Well, it got so bad now. I guess I'm probably about 55 or something at the time, 56, that I couldn't even get into a golf posture, just to get into the posture to address
Right when you just got your game on point.
Right when I got my game. I've been playing good for 3 years. I had got 4 years of playing off the charts golf. Everybody wants me on their scramble team because they can just use every one of my shots. They don't even have to play.
Yeah, they can drink beer.
They can putt. They can drink beer. Yeah.
Sounds good. Dude.
Yeah,
Let's
right.
some money. I'll go
Yeah.
sit there and drink some
Yeah.
LaCroix or whatever and
So
watch you take.
it got to that point, John, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't even stand over a ball. And the putting was even hard, just how you extend for putting. That was
That would
brutal.
tug on the lower back.
Not tug. It was tug doesn't do it. That was freaking debilitating. So, chiropractors first, PT second, injections third, every modality you can think of. I did. Yeah, and I did. What's it called? Acupuncture, and I did rolfing. Everything you could think of. I'm not going to do surgery unless I absolutely have to.
Did any of it help, like pre-surgery?
No.
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit. So I'm like, got to do the surgery, man. I got to play golf. I mean,
This sucks.
I can't even garden. I can't even do gardening, you know?
That's something we're supposed
It's
to
hard
do
to
as adults.
vacuum. It's hard to vacuum. I vacuum that mess. So I got the surgery. That made it worse. So I got the second surgery about 3 or 4 years later. That made it worse again. And then I got a third. I did everything I could to avoid it. I mean, I don't know how many injections I have in my back, 100, 200. I lost count, and every kind of injection you can imagine, facet joints.
And I feel like insurance just pushes you to like, keep trying.
Oh, yeah.
Try this guy next.
I know, right?
Try that guy next.
So, yeah, so it was, after that surgery, which was just like 2 years ago, I think, they went in through the front so they could, because there wasn't enough room to put in a disc from the back. They can only do so much if they go in from the back. They have to go in from the front first, get the vertebrae prepared, if you will, so then you can finish up the work in the back. So they
went through the front, then
through the front first, and then to the back. And here I am with you. I mean, I did my PT, and it seemed like it was going all right, but I just wasn't making any progress. Thank God you reached out to my daughter. Did you see her on because she works for me? And Sam goes, Mike, I got a guy you need to see. This is only like a month ago, right? How long have I been here? A month, 5 weeks?
5 weeks, yeah.
So I said, okay, I'm desperate. I'll try anything. Dude.
Golfing how long at that point?
12 years. Yeah, tell me about it. Tell me about it. And
it goes 12 days. I'm like,
yeah, I know, 12 days. I know.
I'm going somewhere inside.
I know, right? So so then I came to you. You have a whole new it's kind of like when I tell people about you, and I tell everybody about you, by the way. Yeah. I've even made several referrals at the gym, and
your wife's probably sick of hearing my name.
I
get it.
I get it, right? Yeah. Like so but I describe it as, I say it's kind of like PT, but it's resembles it a little bit, but it's so different. It is so different. The things that you do here and your colleagues that you do here, that I wasn't sure what to think, But here I am, a measly 5 weeks later. What did I just hit? 60 chips out there.
Not a problem.
60 easily, and good ones too, most of them. And so I'm on my way. I'm on my way to play golf, and it gets better all the time. I do my homework every day. I do cold showers in the morning.
Yes, he does.
I hate you every day for it. and I do those exercises that you tell me to do every day, twice.
And
I never miss. And I'm a new man.
I love that.
It's amazing. So whatever you do.
You came in a couple of weeks ago and you were like, we went out dancing.
Oh yeah.
I looked around, I'm like, dude,
and I do the Elvis stuff as much as I can. The hips go all over the place. 70 freaking years old. 70 freaking years old, and I think I'm like what's that fever?
Boogie.
I'm like all over the place. People are thinking, what is this old man doing?
Getting down, man.
He is getting down big time.
Letting his hips loose.
How does he do that at his age, right? So unbelievable. Whatever you do, it absolutely works. And then I come to you with a golf problem. So you kind of get my muscles ready to make those motions in golf. And then we slowly move into those movements. And here I am, and I can make a full range of motion. I never thought I'd be able to make a half range of motion.
I know you told me you wouldn't be able to, and I said, huh?
Yeah.
I was more cocky than confident right then.
Very cocky.
But
I needed that. I needed someone to give me some hope.
Yeah.
I said, this guy gives me hope.
I love that.
Yeah. So yeah.
Every ex-girlfriend hear that. No, dude, it's sort of selfish. I want you to do well so that we can go golf.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's cool. I can take anybody out golfing.
Yeah.
But not that many people are going to be like, actually, this is what you need to change real quick. And, just put this on.
I know, right?
You're better.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can keep that.
Yeah. I mean,
just give it back to me in a week when you're done.
Who would have ever thought that this breathing technique had anything to do with my back pain? Who would have
Everything.
thought that my inside of my knee had anything to do with my back pain?
Right.
And yet you tortured it one day to the point where I was almost crying. And did I really, did tears come out?
No, but if they did,
It was
I would have
close.
captured that. But hold on, let me get a photo.
So whatever that has to do with the whole chain of, the knee bones connected to,
It is
that
all
whole
connected,
thing,
man.
right?
Yeah.
Whatever that is, I was like, what in the hell? So yeah, I'm all in. I hope to be playing golf, hitting 280-yard drives again. And this year, so 3 months from now, I'll give myself 3 more months to really, work with you and whatever kinks are left in my body to get rid of them. And yeah, and just yeah, geez, I promise you a big bonus at the end, and I'm going to deliver on it.
Man, I'll tell you, like, get my back where yours was.
Oh yeah, there you go.
My goal this year, I think I've told you, is literally just to hit the ball 300 yards with the driver, and then
Yeah.
again, not be upset when I
Yeah.
fuck my life up on the course.
Yeah.
Yesterday, when I went out hitting, I'm pretty positive if I can hit 300, I just can't do it consistently.
Mhm.
Right. And I don't really actually care because I never actually use the driver that much. It's mostly so when people want to throw it on the table and measure,
Yeah.
I can say, hey, I got one too.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Realistically, I don't care if I hit it 300 yards or 250. I just want to hit it straight every
I
time.
know
I
it
don't
is
want to
right.
chase it.
That's the thing with this product of mine. You keep the club head so square that your rotation of your body squares the club up. I have great demonstrations on that on my website.
Yeah.
It is up in my Instagram. It is just amazing how if you just forget about the hands, right? Just forget about them on the downswing and just rotate, just let gravity, let your hand drop. You don't need to pull it down with your muscles. That's useless.
No, actually, the more you do it, the worse your
The
club head
worse
gets.
the worse it gets. You slow down your club head speed.
Yeah.
The more you rotate and keep your hands quiet and let that energy you stored in the backswing stay there until it hits the wall.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and you can hear the difference.
Oh my God.
I don't know how to make it. Maybe this might be an off-camera conversation. But if you take a shaft, cut the head off, and you go through your swing, you can hear the difference when you're gaining more speed.
Mhm.
Like up here is, and then with irons, it's right at the bottom.
Mhm.
And I wanted to make something with you that almost like whistled.
Oh,
Like,
oh wow.
versus.
You do too.
I feel like, yes.
I'm an engineer, dude. I'll figure it out. I already figured it out.
See,
I already have an idea.
Mine was just putting a whistle at the top and hoping I swung it at the right angle. The air went through the whistle like I would blow. So yeah, it's
We'll be sophisticated. One thing about marketing, one thing about products
yeah,
is the perceived value, right?
yes.
People will perceive, right?
Sweating.
There are people that would pay way more than I charge for that product if they knew it would give them good ball compression.
Yep.
It'd be worth $2,000, $5,000, whatever.
Yeah.
You have good ball compression. It only costs $150.
There's people that are paying $6,000 to $7,000 for a 4-day stay.
I know, right?
Doing a golf clinic.
Right. It does nothing.
And they still suck.
And they still suck. They buy a new driver. They still suck.
Yeah.
You know?
Can't be them. It's got to be the club.
It's got to be. No, it's you, dude.
100% of the time.
It's right, 100. Yeah, not 99. Just 100.
It's always you.
Yeah. So people continue their crappy swing, buy new clubs, maybe they get a little more forgiveness on a bigger driver with a bigger sweet spot, but they're going to shoot 95 anyway. So,
Yeah.
But you got a nice shiny club to do it with.
Yeah, you just spent $600 to $700.
Yeah, you could have bought 5 of my products.
Yeah.
6 of them, gave them to your friends. They'd all be happy.
Yeah, everybody would love you more. Especially the guys behind you.
Yeah.
When you're waiting to play.
Yeah.
I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a very patient golfer. This is actually, I got one for you, a funny story. I wanted to take a friend of mine to a place that he wanted to work. He was like, man, I want to work at this place. I'm like, oh, dude, I got an in for you. All you have to do is go golfing with us on Saturday. He wants to talk to you, and he'll give you the management job, and he'll let you coach your golfers right there. All you have to do is go golfing with us.
Really?
He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, it's that in.
Yeah.
He's my boy.
Yeah.
And he says, okay. 2 days later, I text him in a group chat with this guy. I already told him it's going to happen. I'm like, hey, man, you want to golf with us on Saturday? He's like, no, that's for people that suck. I'm like, what do you mean? The Masters is on Saturday. They don't suck. He's like, no one good golfs during the weekend.
Yeah.
I was like, so you should come with us.
Yeah.
Thought it was funny.
Uh-huh.
It is still funny.
Yeah.
I mean, you should come with us then, bro. You suck.
Yeah.
And he got like really shitty and just showed his ass on the text feed. And the guy who was going to give him this job, which I want to throw out there, it's 120,000 guaranteed plus commissions. Like, it was a good setup.
Holy crap.
And I don't know if he had a brain fart or if he had a bad day.
No.
This is Wheaties. The guy texted me. He's like, "What is wrong with your friend here?"
Wow.
I was like, normally I have good judgment. I didn't see this coming. Don't mark them all down for this one. Like,
don't give me credit for that, right?
Yeah. And one of the things he said is, I don't have 6 hours to kill while somebody in front of me scores a 140. I do kind of get that, but I also don't, because I do have 6 hours to kill to let the guy in front of me shoot 140. Because I'm not trying to get in and get out.
Beautiful out there. It's sunny weather usually, and
it's Michigan. We've been stuck inside for 9 months.
Are you kidding me?
Like, what else do you have that's better than being outside?
Yeah.
You go home and be outside to do chores?
I know.
No thanks.
Thanks.
I'd rather go whack at a golf ball, whether I do it well or poorly.
I know, right?
I mean, compared to, I'm really big into gardening. I like to grow my own food. I like to hunt for my own food. I would still rather go golfing, knowing that it's not going to feed me. Right? Like, I'll go weed the garden later, or whatever the case is. If I have to do something, and it seems like it's a 2-hour chore, I might not have time to do that.
Yeah.
I have time to go at the exact same time. So I really don't understand how somebody could. I do get someone's like, hurry up, pick the pace up. It's been bad. But also, have you ever just like stopped while you're golfing?
Yeah, look around.
And been like, wow, this is actually awesome.
Yeah.
I'm doing nothing.
Take it in,
no
man.
one's gonna
Right?
bitch at you for it. At least not until you get home. I'm not married, so I never get that. And also, what other sport can you go out and have absolutely no idea who you're golfing with and end up making a friend?
Oh yeah.
Like, if I went and played pickup basketball, I hate all of them.
I know, right?
I want to beat them physically and in the sport, right? Like, but as a golfer, it's like the marathon community. Everybody wants you to be better. They want to beat you still.
Yeah.
But they want you to be better. It's the weirdest community.
It is. I think I have been golfing more times by myself and then hooked up with 2 other guys or a husband and a wife team.
Yeah.
I've made more acquaintances doing that and had more fun with talking to these people, getting to know what they do, and fascinating. You run into some fascinating people.
The ride, because I never did exactly what you're doing. Like, all right, I'm going to set up at this place, really nice. They don't let you go out by yourself. You got to have a twosome or a 4, and then they'll pair you with them, right? I'm a novice, so I didn't know any of this.
Yeah.
That was when I was like, I should do a podcast. While I was riding in the cart, just having this type of conversation, getting to know somebody, I'm like, I could do this all day. I love this.
I know, right?
I never knew this person, and now I'm enthralled by everything that they're doing. Like, where are your kids going to school?
I know.
It's unreal. It is one thing coming from the fighting background.
Yeah.
I didn't want you to be good.
Right.
And I wanted to beat you. I wanted to beat you like a child. I wanted to be so bad. Versus now, just re-hit this, but try that.
Yeah.
Like,
Helping out.
You're like, wait, what? Like,
Yeah.
we're not on the tour here. Like, who cares about your score? Like, get a good shot in.
Another ball then,
Yeah.
Again.
You know, that's actually one thing I would change. And this is a topic I always hit. What is the one, if there was only one thing that you would change about golf? And that is what it would be. It would be the traditionalist or the purist back off, because nobody is out there trying to go pro. And if you are, you've missed your chance. And if you're doing this for the
Too
first
late.
time,
Too
right?
late.
Maybe the seniors tour, probably not.
Probably not.
People think that they're out there trying to go for Augusta.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, you're gonna just fluff your ball out of that divot. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, right.
I'm not hitting out of this divot.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm gonna give myself a better lie because I'm not a freaking pro.
I know. And the thing is about it is too, John, is the pros play these immaculate golf courses. They don't get into those areas. And what I know, right? Exactly. So I'm gonna penalize myself because I got to pay on a crappier course so yeah, well, right. I wouldn't play in these crappy courses.
Yeah,
and I would never have to. Right.
Yeah, and you saw Bryson, right, on YouTube.
It's fun.
Bryson was going around playing a bunch of munis, and he openly said,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is
No
awesome.
kidding.
For guys like you and I, this made me feel so good." He said, "This is harder than any course I've played on tour."
Yeah.
Because the conditions suck. And the greens are, I mean, even if the greens are really well kept on a municipal
So
board,
slower down.
it's not the same.
Right.
Right. And he's talking about when you're putting on those greens, sure, they have attention to detail and they'll change the grains on purpose, this, that, and the other thing, but it's almost as smooth as a carpet. He
Like
says
a pool table. So
he says he says the reading on on the tour screens are easier to read.
Yeah.
Than what we deal with. I'm like, oh, cool. See, I don't suck. I just don't play on good courses. That's the problem. I just need better courses to play.
Oh, I know. Every time I play on, I get invited periodically, or I did when I was playing to country clubs. Private golf courses. Meadowbrook, oh my God, unbelievable. The greens.
Meadowbrook's perfect.
The greens are like this.
Yeah.
I
almost felt bad landing a ball there.
I know. I'm like, oh my God, I put a dent in it.
Oh, they're gonna hate me.
Yeah, right.
They're gonna hate me.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah, and then I actually had a guy show me, which you'd imagine you know how, right? But he's like, this is actually a better way to fix a divot. And he showed me how. And I was like, okay, whatever, just chalk it up. And right after that, the very next hole, he gets out and he does something. I'm like, hey man, what are you doing? And he goes, oh, I'm the greenskeeper here. I was like, oh, okay. I have a question for you. So I started firing off some questions, and he was talking about the way people fix divots will kill the grass.
Oh.
The way that they do it most of the time, when you pop it in, you pop it up, and you pop it in from the other side. No, apparently that is the right way. But I did not know this. You're supposed to start on the inside and then work your way out, and then just pat it down. Apparently, if you only do the way I thought I was doing it right,
like an inch away,
4 of them inch away, you're likely to uproot.
Oh, it makes sense too.
And then you'll get a dark spot. Yeah. And then that guy has to come and basically cut it out.
Well, I just learned something.
Yeah, I didn't know this.
70 years old. I just learned something.
I'm glad I could teach you something finally. Now I'm useful.
Hey, you made my back better, man.
You know what?
That's big time.
Not a bad start.
That's big time.
It's not a bad start, but there's work to be done. I'm going Saturday, and I'm not 100% sure I should take you, because I know for a fact you'd be like, 130 par 3, I can land that. I haven't swung that far yet, but it's not that far.
Yeah.
And then you go for it. If your body's not ready, I screwed you over.
I got to tell you, I just brought up a story.
Let's go.
My last swing before my back just completely went out on me. And it was after my first surgery. I was able to play maybe a year after that for a year or two.
Were you playing well?
I'm sorry?
Were you playing well?
No, I was not good yet. No, I had not done the wrist work yet.
Gotcha.
And when I played, I put a sack of ice on my back so I could play. You know, and I'd have a cooler in the back of the golf full of ice. So when this ice melted, I can. That's how I play golf. Anyway, you can write, yeah. So, so I was +1 at I think the course is on the east side. Cannot think of it. I got married there, as a matter of fact. I can't think of it. Anyways, I know, right? That's not good. That is not good.
It was a memorable
Cherry
moment.
Creek,
There we go.
beautiful golf course, beautiful place to get married. You know. So, anyways, I won over and we played 5 holes, and I got to the 6th hole. Right, wasn't great. 260, you know, I kind of fluttered it a little bit, but 260 is not bad.
Yeah. For a not perfect shot,
For
that's fine.
for an imperfect shot, my brother says, "What the hell? What are you complaining about? You hit a 260 and it's in the middle." Well, it didn't go
When you say it
290.
when you say it like that, I do kind of sound like a little bit of a baby.
Yeah. So my next shot was a 600, and it was, I don't know, 180, 190 yards or something. And my golf cart was behind me, and a little bit in front of me and behind me. And my brother's golf cart was just in front of that one. So I hit the ball, and I just started, you know, it was pin high, beautiful looking shot. It was pin high, probably 12, 15 feet left of the flagstick. And my thought was, oh my God, how am I going to get to the golf cart?
Oh,
Gone.
Yeah.
I couldn't lift my foot off the ground.
I've been there.
And I just, oh my God, I said, Jim, can you bring the cart a little closer? I can't move. He thought I was joking. I'm like, no, I'm serious. I can't. So I got in. We drove up to the green, and I said, you know what? Hopefully that was just a thing, and it's gone away.
Yeah.
You know. So I got out, made the putt, missed the putt. I mean, but I made 2 putts.
Took the putt.
And I actually went to the next hole, almost screaming in pain, still thinking I just can't get. I just gotta hit this ball. It was a par 3, you know. How hard can it be? It was a 9-iron or a wedge.
Yeah, I just won't swing hard. I'll club up.
Yeah, yeah. So I did hit a beautiful shot, but that was the last one.
It's crazy you remember the last one too.
And here we are.
Yeah.
12 years later. I've tried everything that I can think of.
Man, we're swinging though.
Except Fitzgerald therapy. And Fitzgerald therapy is working. I don't mean to be a commercial for you, but people have to be out of their minds if they don't.
No, please do. Go ahead. Yeah.
They need to look you up.
I appreciate that. Because a lot of business is marketing. A lot of marketing is marketing dollars.
Yeah.
And when you build a gym and then you build a team, now you're paying a gym. And then it turns out you're not paying yourself. You're paying the gym, you're paying your team, and then you're paying for golf. And then right. So when people go through, and you were an absolute perfect person for that. When they say I've been through everything, I say, okay. So what do we want to do then? Because you haven't done everything. Because I've never seen you. Right. And then, well, I've done PT. Well, that's great. I think they're all stupid. And not all of them. There's smarter than me everywhere, from every walk of life. There's a garbage man out there that knows something I don't. I don't assume that I know everything. But that interconnectedness, the wovenness of the human fascial system, like you said, it's made to golf.
It is.
Golf is actually the reason that golf was set up the way it is, because that's the only way we can actually do it that way. You can't do it wrong. Otherwise, the ball goes wherever. Your body has to do what it's made to do. And as soon as you start overthinking it,
manipulating with your muscles and all that crap, then you're doomed. You know,
you're gone. It's gone.
Totally gone.
When I train golfers, when I train tennis players, you notice 5 weeks in, we've picked up a club finally. But at first, it's like, we're just laying here breathing. It's the prerequisite to moving.
I'm thinking, this really wants me to breathe deep, and
I'm just breathing and laying under this red light,
sucking my stomach in and tightening, and really, what's that going to do? You know?
And
standing against the wall. doing this stuff. And I'm like, seriously?
It seems rudimentary.
It's just, but nothing like I've ever done before. And here's the thing.
It's so
I swear to God, yeah, I swear to God, I believe that had I never gotten that first surgery and met you 14 years ago, I would never have the first surgery in the first place.
Yeah. And I will even see that bet and raise you and say, if I would have met you when you were 14 playing hockey, saying, dude, my back is killing me.
Yeah.
I would have said, well, yeah, you're hunched over and you're on a 1/8 inch blade. So your ankle stability is probably not perfect. And right, like I would have done what I did. I'll explain it to you. Before we work, I'm going to tell you what you're feeling and just cut me off if I'm wrong. And you're like, oh, no, keep going. Go ahead. You're right. Yeah, I didn't even say anything about that. But realistically, if and I don't think all PTs are stupid, but if you have a doctorate degree, you've been indoctrined in their study. If you have a PT degree, you've been indoctrined in their study. And if you're going to these people, they're now ran, and what they're allowed to do is ran by Medicaid, Medicare, insurance. So they have protocols and they're blanket statements. And you've seen a million golfers swing. Not one person swings like the other person. Can't happen.
I
As
know.
much as I want to swing like Rory, I can't. I'm also 6'2".
Yeah.
He's like 5'5".
No, I
He's a
didn't.
tiny little guy.
I know.
He still swings way better than I do, and I can't do what he does
Mhm.
because everything here is different.
Where he's got a team of you,
He's got a lot of them.
a lot of yous
Yeah.
working on him every day.
Yep. He's got a massage therapist. He's got a cook. He's
Yeah.
got a trainer.
Yeah.
And I'm
And
sure
they're not teaching them the old fashioned PT crap. They're teaching them what you do. How could they?
they can't.
They'd all be in the hospital, you
Mhm.
know?
When people think athletes like, oh, Tom Brady spent $1 million on recovery or whatever. It's like, yeah, of course.
Mhm.
His job says that his body should be prime and ready to go. And then they hear, okay, that's what athletes do.
Mhm.
No, you have a body too. Like, you should take care of that too, man.
Yeah, you can do it.
Like, well, athletes do this. I'm not an athlete. You don't have to be, but you should be able to put your shoes on.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking directly to my mother. When you're at 55 and you can't put your shoes on because back pain, I don't care about your athletic performance.
Right.
Yeah, we'll call it athletic performance because moving well is
Sure.
athletic performance.
In any form.
Yeah. And the foundation, just like in golf, is the very fundamentals of, does your breath support your spine?
Mhm.
Are your shoulders floating around a rib cage just tilted forward? Because that's all going to be a problem, right? And just like the impact, just like the breath work, it's all right. Let's focus on a fundamental, just this one thing, real quick, and we're going to make sure it carries into everything from here on out,
Yeah.
right?
Like a building block almost, do
Yeah.
this first and that'll support this muscle and yeah. So PTs don't, I've been to 50, I lost count, 30, 50, 90. I don't know how many I've been with this. I've been to a lot.
Jeez.
Same shit over and over.
Yeah. And you can almost see like, oh, this is the playbook they're putting me through now.
This is the playbook.
They're going to lay me on the bed. They're going to electrocute me a little bit. And they're going to put a hot pack on my back or
Yeah,
something.
they walk me over to this machine. I go, you don't even have to tell me how to use it. I've been here 100 times. Well, let's go do this song. Okay, I don't need your help on that
Yeah,
either.
I'll
I've
do
done
that,
this.
yeah. Which is funny because I just told you do that at home.
Yeah, I know, right?
They're like, all right, well, we're going to watch you do it for 8 weeks. Like, what's next though? Like, we're going to watch you do it for 8 more weeks. Well, what's after that? Same thing.
Same thing.
We're going to watch you do the same stuff.
Right.
So when do we build up into golfing again? Well, it just takes time. Of course it takes time. I'm not doing anything.
Mhm.
We're doing the same shit. Definition of insanity, right? Like, you can't expect me to actually get better while I've done the same thing for 5 years now.
I know, right?
So I feel like with that, your endorsement, thank you. With that, and then the idea of the perfect angle of the wrist, which I love.
Yeah.
I wish you had it here so I could show.
I know. I
people.
can't believe I forgot.
I can bring up a video through editing and make it look cool.
Yeah.
But to actually see it, I've showed everybody in my golf groups
Mhm.
what. There's a video of your daughter doing
Birth?
this.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like the 5th or 6th one down.
Yeah, yeah.
everybody, once they see it, they go, "Oh, dude, I need that."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to get one for the class then, and then you're gonna have to buy one because you're not taking mine.
So can I interrupt?
Yeah.
So the thing about that is, it gives you the feeling, right? And it was explained to me one time. This is pretty interesting. And then I kind of, I'm not, the door's locked. Keys gone. But I remember Ledbetter. He endorsed the right angle for me back in the '90s, right? Before we saw it. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, God hasn't got him yet. Karma will get him.
God ain't gonna get him.
Karma will get him.
Devil will get him.
If that's
He's a
what
crook.
well, yeah, he boned you. He didn't even buy you dinner.
Totally. But anyways, he was saying, no, getting the feeling. I'll never forget this. He said, getting the feeling of a golf swing. He said it's kind of like getting the taste of a strawberry. Somebody can tell you, man, this strawberry is wonderful. Someone's never had a strawberry before, right?
Right.
So you're telling this person who's never had a strawberry before how delicious and sweet and juicy it is, and they can kind of, oh wow, that sounds good. But until you take, you don't know, you know. Until you feel the golf swing how it's supposed to be, you will never know how to do it. So that's what this product does. It gives you the feeling that you can repeat over and over and over until you do not need it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, that is. And golf is so much fun. Oh, God.
What made you decide before you do leave? 'Cause I did originally have to ask this. What made you decide that it was this over the hips or the rotation of the spine?
Yeah.
Because there's so many factors in the swing that people kind of fail on.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what it was. I talked about it a little bit earlier, maybe not very clearly, but I knew it was something. I really didn't know what it was. So I went to this PJ professional. He's a teaching pro, and he showed me on my video that, my God, you're 90 degrees in a 180-degree circle. You're half of that off where you should be at impact. Wow. You're hitting the ball. The club head should be here. You're down here hitting the ball already. So it was like, wow.
It's just interesting to me, as a movement coach, just imagining that I would have imagined that your hips are too fast, right? Like, okay, like maybe, or your hands are too fast. One of those.
Hands are too fast.
I wouldn't have thought it, and this is like the ingeniousness of it. And of course, I'm not trying to stroke your ego. It's just, it is brilliant. This makes this and this do its job.
Has to.
That's why I thought maybe you like, oh, it turns out this
makes you rotate better.
Yeah.
You will soon find out when you hold the wrist back. If you don't rotate, you could swing and miss.
Yeah.
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 Or stick it in the ground.
Yeah.
So you will quickly figure out that I better be rotating. If I'm not flipping my hands to catch up to the ball, I damn well better be rotating.
Yeah. And you don't want to be flipping your hands. So you better rotate. Yeah. No, it's awesome. I want to get it on the table.
Yeah.
Or even get it in the gym.
Yeah.
And we can do some live swings with it.
That'd be great.
I love that.
Yeah. It's kind of a RoboCop looking thing, but I don't give a crap.
I'm about that though.
I don't give a crap.
Cool.
It does look kind of cool. Yeah, but it is what it is. It's designed very well. I'm an engineer. The friends of mine that helped me are all very good engineers. We made parts for cars. Cars run great.
Yeah.
We made this. We took our engineering knowledge in automotive and created that.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, very cool.
I appreciate that.
Right,
because there's a lot of shitty golfers out there that are hitting 140 slowing people.
They need it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
The real question is, how do we get it to more people now?
Right. That's the thing. That's the key.
Girls with boobs on the internet seem to
get
a lot of attention. Yeah.
So I'm going to hire one of those.
Sorry, I'm not one of those. I can't help. I'm sure you would have hired me sooner if I was, though. Like, oh, I actually saw you on Instagram. And of course you did, you know. But I will let you get going on the rest of your day, man. You said you're going to swim still?
Swimming, and I got to go out.
Sounds better than, I was going to say it sounds better than work, but actually that is work.
You know, we're almost done. We got the lighting. We got all.
It's nice that she's including you in the decision making as if what you say
And it's damn
matters.
well good that she did, because some of her decisions were poor. You know?
It's like, I don't want to tell you this, but that's
But
okay.
that's one of that crap, you know.
Yeah, I don't want that in my kitchen.
All right,
Yeah,
my
man.
friend.
All right, thank you so much.
You bet.
And I'm gonna see you in 2 days anyway. 2
Yeah.
days.
Okay, man.
Freedom.
Aside from the very beginning, that was, yeah, it's good band.